In the vast, uncharted landscape of human psychology, few revelations carry such profound and personal weight as Carl Jung's insight into irritation. Imagine for a moment the next time you feel your blood pressure rise when irritation rushes to the surface. Jung's observation lingers in your mind like an echo. He said that everything that irritates us in others can be the very thing that leads us to understand ourselves. This isn't just a clever observation. No, it's a window into the core of who we are, a mirror that reflects parts of us we'd rather keep hidden. It's as if Jung was speaking directly to that vulnerable, unspoken part of us, the part we resist facing. Now take a pause and think deeply about your daily interactions. Perhaps it's that coworker whose mere presence fills you with inexplicable anger, or a family member whose habits send you into a frenzy of irritation. Maybe it's a stranger whose behavior grates on your nerves and you wonder why it affects you so deeply. These feelings of irritation, as universal as they are, carry within them the hidden contours of our unresolved internal conflicts. Jung uncovered something truly remarkable: the fact that these experiences, these eruptions of emotion, are like psychological fingerprints unique to us, often marking unresolved wounds we haven't yet healed. They carry a message from within, one that we are either brave enough to explore or one that remains buried under layers of denial. The beauty and complexity of this idea lies in what modern psychology terms emotional triggering. Have you ever wondered why a person's behavior can cause such disproportionate annoyance within you? It's as if their actions awaken something in you, a hidden fragment of your past or a forgotten emotion. This is what Jung referred to as a complex. A complex is a cluster of emotionally charged associations that lie dormant in our unconscious mind, waiting for the right trigger to set them off. And that's where things get fascinating, because when someone's behavior pushes us to the edge, we're not actually reacting to them in the way we think. No, we are reacting to the unconscious material that their behavior stirs within us. We are caught in a moment where the past meets the present, and the emotions of our hidden self burst to the surface. Initially, our ego resists this truth. It's far easier, far less painful to blame the other person, isn't it? To point the finger outward, casting all the responsibility for our discomfort onto them, rather than turning inward and confronting the deeper, often uncomfortable truths within ourselves. But this resistance, this defense mechanism, is exactly what keeps us from seeing the full picture. It's what Jung described as a shield, one that protects us from the very discomfort that holds the key to profound self-understanding. If only we had the courage to take a step back, if only we were willing to dig deeper into the feelings that surface when we're triggered. If we did, we might find that these strong reactions are often pointing us towards something we've denied, a shadow that waits to be acknowledged. Each irritation becomes an invitation to a deeper journey, a journey into the heart of our own psyche. Section 1. Understanding projection. When we talk about projection in Jungian psychology, we are delving into something far more intricate than simply blaming others for the traits we dislike in them. Projection, as Jung saw it, is a complex defense mechanism, a way our unconscious mind shields our fragile self-image by casting parts of ourselves onto the external world. Picture this. Our unconscious mind is like a movie projector, casting scenes of ourselves that we cannot or will not accept onto the world around us. The process starts in what Jung called the personal unconscious, a mental space where we hide aspects of ourselves that we've denied or repressed. These hidden parts don't just disappear, they yearn for expression, for recognition, and they find it in the most unexpected places. When we encounter someone who stirs these suppressed elements within us, our psyche reacts instinctively, projecting these disowned qualities onto that person. This is what Jung called the hook for our projections. And here's where it gets deeply personal. The shadow self, which contains both our darker impulses and our unacknowledged potential, plays a pivotal role in this. Our shadow seeks recognition, not through conscious admission, but through projection. So when we become intensely critical of someone else, when we see arrogance, insecurity, or neediness in them, we may be seeing our own shadow in action. It's almost as if we're looking into a mirror, one that reflects the very qualities we have rejected or denied in ourselves. Consider how this plays out in real life. A colleague who accuses others of being lazy while ignoring their own procrastination. A friend who complains bitterly about how judgmental others are while harboring deep, harsh judgments of their own. Or a partner who accuses the other of being unfaithful, even as they suppress their own wandering thoughts. These projections act as psychological mirrors, reflecting back to us parts of ourselves we're too afraid to face. Section 2. The shadow. The shadow self is one of Jung's most profound concepts. It operates like a psychological basement, a hidden space where we store parts of ourselves that don't fit the image we want to project to the world. Unlike Freud's concept of the ID, the shadow is not just a repository of dark impulses, it's a multifaceted aspect of our psyche, containing not only our darker qualities, but also the undeveloped, unrealized potential within us. From childhood, we begin to build our shadow, learning which traits are acceptable and which must be hidden. The process of shadow formation continues throughout our lives, as we, often unconsciously, sort the parts of ourselves into categories of acceptable and unacceptable. Society, family, culture, they all play a role in shaping our shadow, defining the traits we suppress. But here's the catch: suppressing certain traits doesn't eliminate them. No, instead, it creates psychological pressure, an internal pressure cooker, and that pressure seeks release. When we encounter these suppressed traits in others, it triggers what Jung called shadow recognition, an unconscious acknowledgement of our own hidden qualities. And this recognition often manifests as intense irritation, anger, or frustration, emotions that serve as signals guiding us toward the parts of ourselves we've buried deep within. The pattern is a tragic one. The more we reject a quality in ourselves, the more intensely we react to it in others. It's almost as if we're punishing the reflection of our own hidden self. This dynamic explains why calm, patient individuals may experience sudden, intense outbursts of rage when they confront behaviors they've spent years trying to eliminate. Neuroscience even supports this theory, showing heightened activation in the amygdala when we encounter traits we've repressed. Section 3. Transformation. The journey from irritation to insight is a powerful one. Jung called this journey the path of individuation, the process of becoming psychologically whole. This transformation starts with a profound shift in perspective. We must learn to view our irritations not as intrusions, but as invitations. When someone triggers us, it is an opportunity to explore the uncharted territories of our psyche. The practical work begins with what modern psychologists call trigger tracking, documenting our emotional reactions, paying particular attention to the intensity and frequency of our reactions. This isn't just journaling, it's the act of mapping the hidden territories of our shadow self. When we find ourselves reacting disproportionately to someone's behavior, we must ask ourselves the question, what forgotten or denied part of myself might I be encountering here? This is where the real work begins, where we dig deeper into the raw emotional material that rises to the surface. Developing awareness requires what Jung called active imagination, a state of focused introspection where we engage in dialogue with our irritations. Visualize the person who irritates you most, and instead of judging, approach the situation with curiosity, with an open heart. Ask yourself, why does this reaction matter? What is it telling me about myself? The key here is to maintain the observing self, a state of mindfulness where we watch our reactions without becoming consumed by them. Working with projections requires both courage and technique. Jung recommended a practice modern therapists call projection retrieval, consciously reclaiming what we have projected onto others. This practice involves 3 steps: recognizing the projection, owning the projected quality in ourselves, and consciously integrating it into our personality. The benefits of shadow integration are far-reaching. As we reclaim the aspects of ourselves we've projected onto others, we experience what Jung called psychological completion, a state of greater wholeness and authenticity. Our relationships improve because we are no longer using others as repositories for our denied traits. We cultivate emotional resilience, the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Moving from reaction to understanding requires developing psychological mindedness, the ability to see beyond surface behaviors and uncover the underlying dynamics. This involves cultivating curiosity about our triggers. Why does a particular behavior affect us so deeply? What does this reveal about our own unacknowledged needs, our unresolved fears? The ultimate goal is to build integrated relationships, connections based on genuine understanding rather than projection. When we've done the hard work of facing our shadows, we are able to see others more clearly, free from the distortions of our own unresolved material. This journey leads to authentic connections, deeper intimacy, and a clearer view of both ourselves and others. In the end, each irritation becomes not just a challenge, but an opportunity, a chance to grow, to heal, and to embrace the parts of ourselves we've long avoided. The emotional journey of self-understanding may be painful, but the rewards are far more profound than we can ever imagine.